This is Radio Cairo.
You raise me up.
We're coming live from Studio 3.
Stormy sea.
And the program today is World of Info.
I am strong when I am
My name is Dr. Amr Mabrouk.
shoulders
Dua Muhammad is at the control.
to more than I.
And our direct line number is 2578-9407.
You raise
And today, in this program of today, we are really very proud and very happy to have and receive here, amid all his time, to give us some time from his valuable time, His Excellency Ambassador Roberto Ebert, the ambassador of the country of Chile in Egypt, and definitely a very experienced diplomat who served his country in his country's embassies in Germany, Israel, Austria, Ecuador, and now he's currently the ambassador in Egypt since 2 years. He has a degree in history from the University of Chile and a degree in diplomacy from the Diplomatic Institute or Academy of Chile. Sir, thank you very much for having the time to come to our program.
Dr. Amr, thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure, and I think it's not an interview, and it's a conversation between us, between Chile, between Egypt, and the idea is to come closer to show something about Chile. Thank you again.
It's really very kind of you, sir, to give us some valuable time. And when we talk about Chile, it's a country that is having a long, narrow country stretching in the South of America, along the South American coast, more than 6,000 kilometers on the Pacific Ocean coastline, with the widest part of it is almost 120 kilometers. Its capital is Santiago. It has 17.5 million population. Of this 17.5 million, about maybe 700,000 of Arab descent. Mainly 500,000 of them are from from Palestine, making them the largest Palestinians in diaspora in the whole of the world, apart from the Arab world. And Peru is to the north of the country, Bolivia is to the northeast, and Argentina is to the east. And definitely it's a country of interest, a beautiful country, a very well-developed nation. And we have to start right away with our interview. Since when have you been working in Cairo as your country's ambassador, sir?
First of all, I would like to underline what you said, Amr. Yes, Chile is a very interesting country. It's the geography of Chile is it's crazy. Huh?
Yes, that's what I wanted to say. It's very
it's crazy. It's not common to have a country such Chile because, as you said, Chile is a country from north to the south. If you put the Chile on the map, you can you go from Madrid until Moscow. Huh? It's amazing geography. Huh? But anyway, it's very interesting. Huh? And in the northern part of Chile, you have a desert, very hot, very dry, and the southern part of Chile, it's very cold. Looks like Norway or like Antarctica. In the middle.
I mean, you even claim a piece of land in Antarctica, right? Because you say this is in your own domain, right?
Exactly, we claim a little piece of land in the Antarctic, and in the middle of Chile, we have a very green forest. Every time I suggest the Egyptian people to go to Chile, but not to the northern part of Chile, because looks like Egypt. I suggest them to go to the southern part of Chile because it's very different. It's very interesting, amazing. Myself, I coming from the southern part of Chile, from the city. The name is Valdivia, and it's about 800 kilometers far away from Santiago. Santiago is the capital. The population of Santiago is about 6 million. And the total population of Chile are 17, less than the population of Cairo.
Yes. So, you've been working here for 2 years. Tell me about the image of Egypt in the eyes of Chilean people, sir.
Bueno, I'm here since 2022 with my wife Carolina. She is sitting next to me now, and she is a very important support of me, because we are a team. I'm not alone here. I have to work a lot, and she work with me. She support me a lot. I think the Chilean knows more than Egypt than the Egyptians knows about Chile.
Exactly, yes.
But the Chilean learns in the school about Egypt, but especially of the time of the pharaonic time. Yes. The people, when they decide to come to Egypt, they decide to come now to visit the beaches. They like to go to the south of Egypt to visit Luxor, to visit Abu Simbel, to visit Aswan, to visit all the pyramids. This is the most important thing they like to know about the history of Egypt, because this is very amazing things of the, I think, not only of Egypt, of the history in all over the world. This is the most important things they like to know about Egypt.
Mm. And so definitely they have the impression of Egypt from what they have studied about pharaonic Egypt, but how that differ very much from what they have read.
I think finally they are coming and to see the pyramids, so they see all the antiquities here, and there all the Chileans are very impressed. I have a lot of opportunities to talk with the Chileans when they are coming and to visit. We were with my wife last week. We had the opportunity to meet 35 Chileans. They come to visit Egypt, and they were absolutely impressed about the pyramids, about all the antiquities, and they decided every time. And the most of them, they have told me, I like to come again to visit Egypt because of the antiquities here in Egypt.
This is a very big statement, because actually Santiago is one of the very furthest cities from Cairo via airlines. I mean, actually, when you are living in Santiago, you will pay always a fortune to go anywhere in the world. If you're going to Europe, or if you're going to the States, if you're going to the Middle East, actually it's a very long distance. And even when they say that Santiago is near to Australia or to New Zealand, actually to Melbourne it's almost 14 hours by flight. So this could always put the stress on Chileans, thinking that they really will not go and see the world. But do they like to travel, and are they frequent travelers to the whole world, not just to Egypt?
Well, finally, I think since at the end of the last century, the Chilean decided to travel. At the beginning of the last century, it was very difficult to travel from Chile all over the world, because, as you said, Chile is so far away. And especially, for example, if you like to come to Egypt, you have to go through Europe. You can go through Spain, through in this case Madrid or Paris or London. But it takes 14 hours to go to Europe. Then you have a stopover. The most time you have to stay there for 6 or 7 or 8 hours, and then you have to take an airplane to come to Egypt. It's not so easy, and from Europe takes to Egypt 4 hours. But anyway, nowadays the people decide to come to Egypt because they are keen to know a little bit more about the pyramids, all things do happen, because Egypt has a very long and very interesting history. And as I said, we studied the history in the school in Chile about the pharaonic time, and anyway, Chile is so far away, but we have to look to the world and not stay there alone. But you go. A lot of people are going to visit Europe. A lot of people are decided to go to United States. Less of them are decided to come to Africa. For our business, the Chilean decided to go to Asia, because Chile has signed a lot of free trade agreements going all over the world.
So, in the lives of great nations, there are notable personalities who represent a turning point in their countries' histories. Could we learn about some of these Chilean figures, sir?
If we talk about that, I can tell you we have a lot of very interesting people. They are part of our culture. For example, we have a lot of very famous pianists. Claudio Rao, he was a very famous pianist, but at the beginning of the last century. We have two Nobel Prize poets, Gabriela Mistral and Pablo Neruda. Pablo Neruda is very famous. Gabriela Mistral is very famous too. As far as I know, some books or some poems are translated from the Spanish to Arabic.
Yes, especially the work of Pablo Neruda.
Yeah,
he's very famous in Egypt, and a lot of cultured people and educated people know about Pablo Neruda. And we know that, of course, Pablo Neruda has reached the climax of his reputation all over the world, and unfortunately posthumous, some people were saying they're not that great fans of him, but still his culture work, not his personality, is really admired all over the world, right?
Probably I'm going to show next year a film about the life of Pablo Neruda.
That will be very interesting.
Yeah, I'm talking with the people in Chile, and to bring the film about Pablo Neruda, I think the idea is through Pablo Neruda to bring Egypt and Chile closer, and to show this movie. And it's a very interesting movie about Pablo Neruda, and I hope we have success and to show the film here in Egypt.
Definitely, that would be very interesting. Since we talk about culture, we have to talk also about business. Chile has been greatly famous for the fact that its business community and business people are very successful. They have strong ties with almost all the countries of Latin America. The businessmen of Chile and the business population have invested much in all over the Latin American countries. They own a lot of companies, and their branches of companies in other, whether these are in Argentina or Brazil, are very famous, whether these are malls or supermarkets or other products. Tell us, what is the reason of success? It's very important to find successful stories of countries that might have geography is not very kind to them, but yet the people have just made their own way. That sometimes people would say Chile is the Switzerland of Latin America.
Thank you for your words, yes, we have a very active businessman. And finally, the only way to come a developed country is to open the economy to all over the world. And the businessman decided to, together with the government, to sign and to promote a lot of free trade agreements with a lot of countries all over the world. For example, we have free trade agreement with the European Union. We have a free trade agreement with a lot of countries in Asia, for example, with China, with Singapore, with Australia, with New Zealand, also with the United States. We are only 17 million, and this is the reason we have to look
outwards, because
out of Chile, to look abroad, and to produce products in Chile, and to sell the products abroad. And the government and the businessman decided to make these things and these successful things, and to work on it. And finally, the businessmen, as I said, they are very active, and we have a lot of businessmen. They decided to open malls, to open supermarket, to invest in different countries in Latin America and all over the world. For example, in Brazil, the population of Brazil is more than 200 million. It's a very interesting market for us. China, it's amazing. It's 1.5 billion the population there, and it's a huge market. And we are selling now a lot of products to.
So, what are the main products that Chile produce?
We produce products, for example, apples. We produce a lot of products from the agriculture. But the most important product we are selling now, it's copper. This is the most important product. We sell copper all over the world. Chile is the first producer of copper in the world. And the industry needs copper, and we hope we can sell more, and because we receive a lot of dollars, and we can invest them in Chile to develop the country.
But also, you are also having your businessmen are also involved as working as middlemen for opening supermarkets or malls or whatever.
Exactly.
So they are interested in knowing what the community that they are serving in and presenting the good products from all over the world and selling them to this. So it's a sort of also packaging industry and importing to Chile and then exporting these products or these final products to the countries like Brazil and Argentina, right, sir?
Exactly. Brazil, Argentina, Peru, and Colombia, they have opened a lot of supermarkets, a lot of malls, and they are sell the products through this
chains,
this malls and supermarket. I would like to tell something about that in this moment. It's very sad. Till today, we didn't sign a free trade agreement or commercial agreement between Chile and Egypt. I'm working on it to see if it's possible to sign a commercial agreement between Egypt and Chile. We don't have to forget that the population of Egypt is more than 100 million.
Yes, exactly.
The market, it's very important, and I think we have a lot of opportunity that to bring the lot of products from Chile to Egypt, and from Egypt to sell products to Chile.
A lot of apples are coming from Chile right
now. A
A
lot of apples are coming from Chile, products from agriculture products, and probably copper. And you can sell you have a very important fertilizer industry. We need fertilizer for our agriculture. You have a lot of medicine. The medicine in Chile is very expensive. The medicine here in Egypt is it's not expensive. I think we can develop the trade between Egypt and Chile. Nowadays, the trade between Egypt and Chile is no more than 40 millions. This means nothing. Of course. But I see a very important opportunity there, and I hope we can achieve to sign a commercial agreement between Chile and Egypt.
So when we're talking about Chile, definitely the Chileans are very proud of their country. And
exactly.
Definitely they feel that the real importance of their country in world's economy and business and everything. So why do Chileans celebrate their independence on the 18th of September?
Okay. Before I coming to this point, Amr, I would like to add something in between of trade between Egypt and Chile. at the end of this month, 2 business delegations are coming to visit Egypt, and I think this is it's a start in order to come closer between Egypt and Chile. The last year we have received 1 business delegation too, and I hope we have the possibility to send a business delegation to Chile. This means we are interested to come closer and to sell products from Chile in Egypt, and sell from products from Egypt in Chile.
Definitely.
Come to the question.
Independence.
Yeah. I think, yes, we are very proud. The Chileans are very proud, and the most important we commemorate at that time, 18 September, it's been September the 18th, our independence. For us, it's very important. We commemorate 2 months ago 214 years of our independence. As far as I know, Egypt is the age of Egypt is more than 5,000 years.
7,000 years.
Yeah, exactly. We are very young
Humbled.
country, very young country, but we are very proud of our country. The Chileans are very proud of our country, and all of them decided to have to celebrate this with a lot of intensity. We don't have carnivals like Brazil or like the other countries in South America or Latin America. Colombia has carnivals, Peru has carnivals, Ecuador has carnivals. Our carnival is the September the 18th, and we commemorate at that time our independence from Spain, and this is very important. And in this opportunity, we eat typical things from our kitchen, and for example, the empanadas, and we allowed to drink a little bit alcohol because we produce a very good wine in Chile, and we can drink red wine, white wine, and all the peoples are coming together and to commemorate the 18 September.
Definitely. So you're still listening to Radio Cairo. His Excellency Ambassador Roberto Ebert, the Ambassador of Chile in Egypt, is our distinguished guest today. Stay tuned, because our next part of the program we're going to talk about the Chilean peoples, their traditions, which distinguish them from other countries. So stay tuned to Radio Cairo. So we are coming live from Studio 3. My name is Dr. Amr Mabrouk. Dua Muhammad is still at the control, and we have a very distinguished guest, His Excellency Ambassador Roberto Ebert, the Ambassador of Chile in Egypt. And we're talking about Chilean people, because what can you tell us about some of the most notable habits and traditions of the Chilean people, and what distinguishes them from other countries? I know that the Chileans are totally distinguished from other neighboring countries. The population is a beautiful heritage mixture between the natives of Chile and the Europeans and the other people who came from different parts of the world, mixed and matched, if we use the expression, and married, and a lot of intermarriages happened between the native people of Chile and the people who came in, and this makes them very special. So tell us about this, about the people of Chile, please.
Amr, you are right. We are a little bit different to the other people in Latin America. We have a lot of things in common with other peoples in Latin America. The most of them in Latin America are Catholics. We speak all Spanish.
Except for Brazil.
Except Brazil. Brazil, they speak, the Portuguese. Brazilian speaks Portuguese, and we speak Spanish. Let's start with the Chilean Spanish. I don't suggest the Egyptian to go to Chile and to study Spanish in Chile.
Really?
Yeah, because we speak very fast. We don't pronounce the end of the words, the end of the sentence, and it's very difficult. It's a slang, nowadays it's slang. A lot of people there decide to go to Chile and to speak, to try to understand something, and it's impossible for them to understand what the Chilean are talking. All of them, they tell us this is not it's not Spanish. If you like to learn very good Spanish, you have to go to Colombia, you have to go to Venezuela or Peru. Peru, they speak very good Spanish.
Why did this happen? Because of the dialects of the native people, or what?
I ask me the same, or make me the same question, and probably we are the Chilean. We are very creative, and this is a reason because we try to change a little bit the words. We put a lot of English words in our sentence. We use a lot of bad words, and these bad words means a lot of things, different things, and probably this is a reason. And the other reason is because the Chilean is very connected with the people from Spain, but from the south of Spain, from Andalusian. The most of on the Andalusian they went to Chile, and if you go to south of Spain,
you have some Arab influence, right?
They have some Arab influence. We have a lot of Arab words in Chile. For example, almohada, pantalon. These are words we are using in Chile, and they're coming from the Arab world. But the Andalusian there speaks very similar to us, and probably this is a reason because the language in Chile we speaks very similar to the people from Andalusia, and this is a reason because our Spanish is very different to the other countries in Latin America.
So, what are about the habits of Chileans?
Well, the habits we are very serious. Yeah, I used to hear that we are the Swiss people from South America.
Yes. Is it because of the German influence? You have a big German in diaspora.
We have a big German diaspora in the southern part of Chile, and
this is the most successful economic part of Chile is in the south.
Right? We have a very successful economy in the northern part of Chile because of the copper, because we produce the copper in the northern part of Chile. In the southern part of Chile, we produce all of agriculture products. The agriculture is very developed in the southern part of Chile, and we work a lot. The Chileans work a lot.
And the Germans have introduced a lot of mechanization of the agriculture, as far as I understand.
Exactly.
They came in the mid-19th century, right, and late 19th century.
Exactly.
Which could even be before Bismarck made the great union of German republics, right, and states.
Are you absolutely right? They came before the Bismarck era.
1970s.
And exactly. Because the life in Germany at that time was very difficult.
Yes, I understand.
And the Chilean government invited the German people to come to Chile, to the southern part of Chile, and they support them a little bit, and in order to develop the agriculture. And now the most of them they are work on the agriculture.
The percentage of this population is what, the German population?
No, I think it's not so huge. At that time was very huge. As far as I know, about 5,000 German people went to Chile at that time.
Yes, but
now let's talk about 150,000.
But still, 150,000 strong,
very strong
economic status.
Yeah. In the Chilean, they work very hard. and they like to improve the life. And this is the reason because our country became very developed in the last 30 years. And we have an open market economy, and this is the reason because we decided to sign a lot of free trade agreements with a lot of countries in the world, as I told you a few minutes ago.
Of course. Chile is a country that combines culture, art, and history, infused with Spanish heritage and innovations that are done by the Chilean people that changes and do a lot of metamorphoses in the Spanish heritage. Tell us about the Chilean art, which makes it very special than other neighboring countries.
Probably because of the influence of the Palestinian community, probably of the influence of the German community. We have not only German and Palestinian in Chile, we have a lot of people that came from Italy, from France. And this finally made a mix.
A melting pot. Right?
It's like a melting pot like New York. And we receive a lot of influence from these countries. And at that time, nowadays we look a little bit to United States, but at that time we have looked a lot of to Europe, and we receive a lot of influence of these countries, and we have a lot of we have influence from the natives, exactly.
Yes. So this makes that a very special melting pot.
Yes.
And since you brought the subject of the Palestinians in diaspora, almost 500,000 is a big part of the population.
Yes. Yeah.
So they started coming first to Brazil and Argentina, and then they found that they heard about the economic condition that goes between both countries, and so they tried to go further west. This is a more like an adventurous trip, right?
Yes.
More or less.
Yes, it's a very good question, because it's not so easy to get to Chile, because you have to arrive South America,
Yes.
and then you have to cross Brazil, you have to cross Argentina, and then you have to cross the Andes Mountains. The Andes Mountains, it's not so easy to
really
cross
I find
them.
that very interesting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or the other way is to take a ship or boat to go through the southern part of South America, and the Magellan Strait. It's it's a very heavy
It shows
to cross
that
this strait.
the Palestinians really are tough people to do this trip. And you told me before we went on air that they are mostly white collars. There are doctors, lawyers, engineers, and it's a success story of the Palestinians in diaspora, more or less, right?
Absolutely success story of the Palestinian, because the most of them are nowadays businessmen, entrepreneurs. They are politicians. They are working in university. No, it's a very interesting thing, and finally it's a very success story. You asked me, Amr, about why they are decide to go to Chile. Probably because at that time Chile was a very stable country, and at that time, if you compare with other countries in South America, it was a developed country too.
And there was a lot of turmoil in South America. We talk about Argentina with a lot of coups, coup d'etat, and Brazil itself. Sometimes there were a lot of military interventions. So definitely Chile was acting like a small peaceful oasis in the middle of a lot of chaos, right?
Exactly. In this case, Chile was at that time probably an isle, and this is a reason because they decided to go to Chile. And finally, we are very happy today to have all the Palestinian people in Chile, and finally they became Chilean.
Yes.
No, they are Chilean with
ancestry.
Exactly.
So, since we are talking about Chile, I heard a friend of mine, a business friend of mine, who is actually an agent of one of the very famous Chilean companies in swimming pools and things like that. He found it very difficult to get a visa to visit Chile. And at that time, I had to contact my friend, your predecessor, who was the ambassador of Chile here, to get him and arrange for a visa. And when the business people met him, his counterparts met him in Chile, he said, how the hell did you were able to get a visa to Chile? He said, I know some people. A friend of mine is a friend of the Chilean ambassador in Cairo. So Ahmed Ghaffar is a very famous businessman, and probably he will be listening to this program later on. Fought very hard to visit Chile, and he returned very happy from there. Why is it very difficult to visit Chile? This is the first question. And the second time, what places? Because I heard from my friends and colleagues who are working in the Egyptian Foreign Service, the best days of their lives when they were working in the Egyptian embassy in Santiago. They spent very jolly good time over there, enjoyed the country, enjoyed the people. So what are the places we should visit, and why is it very difficult to have a Chilean visa?
See, I know it's not so easy to have a visa to go to Chile, but if you go to our embassy and to show all your
it was online, it was very tough.
No, it's if all the things are okay, it's not so difficult to you have to send all the papers and with all the information. If the information are okay, and you can become a visa. We have a friend of us. She is a tourist guy. She decided to go to Chile, and she is going now at the end of this month. It took yes. Well, it's not so. It wasn't easy for her, but finally she became
because she lost the ambassador.
The second part of the questions. Yes. I suggest all the Egyptians to go to the southern part of Chile, because it's very different to Egypt. It's the forest is very nice. You have to go to very south to Chile, to the city. The name is Magallanes, and Punta Arenas in the Magallanes region, and we have there Torres del Paine. They are very interesting landscape. I suggest you to go to the south of Chile. Very close to Santiago is, for example, Viña del Mar. Viña del Mar it's a very nice city. It's a tourist city, and you can go there and to visit there. But I think the most important thing is to see the landscape in Chile. We don't have antiquities like you.
Yes.
Yeah. This is absolutely different. But if you like the forest, if you like to see new landscapes, I suggest you to go to Chile and to go to the South Chile. But in the northern part of Chile, we have the Atacama Desert. It's the driest desert in the world. It's very interesting too, to compare with the desert here in Egypt. But if you need help with the visa, please don't hesitate to call me, Amr, and we can
really help. Yes.
We can help you to have a visa to go to Chile. We don't have an on-arrival visa in Chile.
Yes.
We have to send all the information before and to apply for a visa. Otherwise, if a Chilean likes to come to Egypt, it's easy because you have the possibility to have the visa on arrival.
Yes. And hopefully you will be able, since the number of Egyptians who are reaching there are very few, hopefully you can do that also on arrival in Chile. But let's talk about something which is a very important issue, which is how can we promote the Chilean tourism to Egypt? You said that Egypt has done its fair part of trying to attract the tourists from all over the world, and even Chile, to give them the right to have the visa on the spot. And the second important point, how can we tell the Chileans come to Egypt? Because they're not just what you have read in history books about the pyramids. It's also a Cairo, a busy city, a beautiful city, the Islamic architecture, the grand mosques, the grand museum. All these things really can be very attractive. How can Egypt promote for Chileans to come to Egypt?
Yeah, I think the yes, you're right. We have a mosque. You have a lot of other things. Probably you're going to open the Grand Egyptian Museum. It will be very interesting. I think we have to look for to come together and to come to closer. I talked last week with the Egyptian ambassador in Chile, and he told me he had the opportunity to visit our tourism minister in Chile, and I think, for example, one way to come closer and to promote Egypt in Chile is, for example, through films, through documentaries, to show,
which we already agreed upon today with the director of the radio and TV, that we are going to start this exchange and to implement this from the even from tomorrow. We can send a lot of documentaries speaking in Spanish, Spanish language that can be transmitted on the national TV of Chile.
We have a lot of Egypt has a lot of interesting soap operas. We can send the soap operas to Chile and to show the soap operas. We, for example, 10 years ago, we received a lot of soap operas from Turkey,
and there was an exodus of Chileans to
and
Turkey.
A lot of people decided, of this reason, a lot of people decided to go to visit Turkey.
Yes.
And I think we have to repeat that. For example, to send all the soap operas to Chile and to show the soap operas in Chile. We were talking about that with the president of the
radio just a few minutes ago.
2 minutes ago.
Yes.
And on the other side, we have a very important movie industry in Chile, and to bring and to try to bring a lot of Chilean movies to show the movies here in Egypt. I think this is
we can make the link. We can make the link actually with Mr. Hussein Fahmy, who's the Director General of the famous artist, the Director General of Cairo Festival, of movie festival, which is going to happen within a short period. He would be very happy to receive movies. He's a very open-minded gentleman, and definitely this would be of great interest. So you are fond of Egypt. Your dear wife is also fond of Egypt. Tell us, what were the places that you have been to in Chile, in Egypt?
In Egypt,
yes.
We have visited a lot of places here in Egypt. This is not the first time I'm here in Egypt. For official reason, this is my first time here.
Oh yes, but because you were working in Israel, definitely
we were working in Israel 20 years ago, and at that time we decided to come to visit Egypt. At the time we visited Dahab, Hurghada, and Luxor 20 years ago. And my wife told me, if we have the possibility to go for official mission to Egypt, we have to apply for this possibility.
Yes.
And 20 years
passed until they accepted.
After this conversation, the Chilean government decided to send me to Egypt. We were very happy. Well, finally we went to Luxor. We went to Alamein. Alamein is a very interesting place because of the Second War.
The coast, the sea,
the North Coast, the Red Sea, Fayoum. Well, we try to at the weekend. We try to go to visit these places because it's a duty for us, not only to attend all the official
receptions.
We have to go to get in touch with the people, to talk with the people, to know a little bit about the Egyptian culture, not through only officials' activities. Then to talk with the people in the different shops. If you go to buy something and to have the opportunity to talk to them. This is I think it's in this way you learn more than if you have you go only to official activities and to talk with with the people in this official in this official activities.
Before we leave, I think we have to talk about the Egyptian cuisine, because definitely we're exposed to the Oriental cuisine as a whole, since you've been living in Chile with 500,000 Palestinians from the Middle East. Most probably you have tasted the Middle Eastern cuisine,
yes.
which, by the way, Egypt and Palestine have a lot of things in common in the food. What do you think is your favorite Egyptian dish, and how far is it related to the dishes that you have eaten in Chile?
Well, the Egyptian cuisine is very different to the Chilean cuisine. Finally, but every time when I receive friends from Chile, I decide to go to the Egyptian restaurants to eat Egyptian food. Egyptian food. I like the hummus, I like the tahina, I like the labne, I like the falafel. You have a lot of things to do. Especially my wife likes koshari.
Yes, I love it.
She likes
his favorite. Yes, koshari is really beautiful.
She likes koshari, and I prefer hummus, tahina, and I love the bread, the Egyptian bread.
Yes, the baladi bread is nobody can match it. Some of my diplomat friends, when I travel and visit them, Egyptian diplomats, they would tell me, please, Ya Amr, sneak to us some baladi loaves from Egypt.
By the way, we have
I don't do that, by the way, but they always ask me.
By the way, we have something very similar to Chile and to Egypt. The Chilean people loves the bread, and the Egyptian people loves the bread.
Yes, we are bread eaters. And there are two types of people: bread eaters and non-bread eaters. Both of us are bread eaters. So, just final few words, because unfortunately we're running out of time. So first, before we say the final words, sir, please promise us to come back again to talk more about Chile and about your Egyptian experience and the Chilean experience. So what would you like to say about Egypt and Egyptian people?
First of all, if I have time and if suitable for me, I like to come back and to talk with you, Amr, because it was very interesting, and the conversation was very, very, very nice. The Egyptians are very warm. Yes. Very open, very similar to the Chilean people, or the people from South America. We in that way we are very similar, and till today we have a lot of very good experience here in Egypt. We are very happy. As I said, our government decided to send us to Egypt, and we were very happy to come to here. And it's so sorry. It's very sad because the time passed so fast. We arrived here. We are here since July 2022, and if I think it was yesterday. Now I don't know where the 2 years.
Always the good times fly fast.
Only the good times, and this is the reason I hope I am going to stay with Carolina here 2 years more, probably until March 2026.
You're more than welcome, sir. Definitely.
And I hope we are going to enjoy our time here in the next 2 years.
Definitely, sir. Sir, thank you very much. I can't thank you enough for your kindness and for the beautiful information and the fruitful thought that you have given to us today. His Excellency Ambassador Roberto Ebert, the Ambassador of Chile to Cairo. Thank you, and as you have promised, definitely we're waiting for you another time, hopefully soon, to continue our talk about Chile and Chilean-Egyptian relations. With that item, we have to go and have to leave, but please stay tuned to Radio Cairo, and we promise that we'll come back same time, same station next week. My name is Dr. Amr Mabrouk. Dua Muhammad was at the control, and stay tuned to Radio Cairo.